What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Girls with Goals with your hosts, Anne Catherine.
And Caroline.
Today, we're going to be talking about whether or not you should be self-centered. And my vote is...
Wait, don't say it yet.
Okay.
Because we're going to have a conversation about it. It might not be so black and white.
Well, it's obviously not, because when do we ever hit you with a black and white answer? That would be...
Hey guys,
what's up? Then. Welcome back. And today we're going to be talking about whether or not you should be self-centered. You should. No. Thank you so much for listening. See you guys next Monday. Bye.
We could never. Even if we tried, we would just never be able to do that. It's not in our blood to
not
make
talk.
A solid decision
to not
and not talk.
No, because I would say Number one, the fuck commitment issues episode.
Okay. Maybe I should listen to that because recently I've been finding a way to make
I think everyone needs to re-listen to that one.
Sure. Everything is a blur.
I think everyone needs to re-listen to that one. And that's what I was telling our friend. I'm not going to sit here and hit you with advice when I could just let you listen to this episode.
Fuck commitment issues.
Fuck commitment issues.
And when we made that episode, Fuck Commitment Issues, it's not about relationship commitment issues.
Oh, it has nothing to do with relationships.
To just commit to an idea or a thought or an opinion or a place or a thing or a job or
be decisive sometimes.
Yeah, but it's a hard thing to do. And so because of that, we're probably going to talk for an hour about whether or not you should feel self-centered.
Locked and loaded.
Because it's not yes or no, but it might be, but it's just not the way that we roll. Anyways, highs, lows, and goals.
Highs, lows, and goals. My high of the week, I borderline craziest turn of events. It took me a while to come up with a high of the week. Not that it's been a particularly bad week, but I have an abundance of lows this week.
Oh no.
In the funniest way possible.
Okay.
But my high, if I had to choose one, would be that I had to go home for a doctor's appointment, which means I got to see Stanley, who's our dog, and he's just a little teddy bear.
Oh, he was such a munch in the pictures you sent.
And sorry, my phone just opened up to a picture of Stanley.
If you're watching on YouTube, and Catherine will show her phone right now with a slideshow of Stan.
I don't know if you can see it from this far away,
but you guys know we've been recording all of our episodes and putting them on YouTube under Girls with Goals on YouTube. So you guys
and it's linked below.
Of course, continue to listen on Apple or Spotify or wherever else you listen. But if you do want a visual, you can go there. You can also go to our TikTok at Girls with Goals Pod and our Instagram at Girls with Goals Pod.
True,
we do our personals,
post a lot of clips, and then our personals just have pictures of us because we're self-centered, I'd say.
Just a little bit.
That was a joke.
I mean,
a tiny bit. Get into the episode and we'll discuss. But also there's valuable information on there. So those are all linked below. Go check them out if you're so inclined. What's your high?
My high is when I went to work on Friday. Friday is New Music Friday in my eyes.
It's my favorite.
It's a really, really good day of the week because not only is it a Friday, whether you have Friday plans or whether it's just a night where it's the end of the week and you don't have really responsibilities the next day. Friday's a good day. It's also New Music Friday. All this new music comes out. And this Friday in particular, a new Morgan Wallen album came out. And I'm in a bit of a country phase of my life right now. I'm enjoying country music more frequently than typical. I've always liked country music a little bit, but right now it feels very prevalent in my life. Morgan Wallen releases a new album with, don't fact check me, but just about 36 songs.
Wow.
A lot of songs. It's a 2-hour long album. And so there I was. I walked to work because it was a sunny day. I took the long way.
You walked?
I did.
That's such a me thing to... Honestly, I hate to say it, but you're trying to become me. You're walking to work. This morning, I posted a story. You posted
it was similar.
You posted
it was similar. I know it was.
If you guys follow the Instagrams, you know what I'm talking about. I go to work. I go to the gym. It's 7 a.m. I go. Oh my god! You posted the exact same picture. Me walking. It's snowing. It's disgusting outside, which is my low weight, but we'll get to it. It's so gross, and I posted something I just want to go to the gym. Why is it disgusting out? And then I post it being gross and me. And then I post a selfie in the mirror at the gym. And then I post I'm at the gym. And then
I had almost the same series.
An hour later, she did the same thing. Exact same series.
I was on
walking
the same
out the door.
Routine, though. An hour later,
down to the gym mirror selfie.
That was separate. I'm not sure I'd even seen yours at that point.
You're the J.C. Marie Smith to my Kendall Jenner. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, because she says that Kendall Jenner copies her.
Look.
No.
Jury's out.
So I would be the Kendall Jenner because JC does it first, is what she says or something.
Yeah.
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 So I'm Kendall, and that's okay. I claim that. So anyways, I walk to work. It's a beautiful day. I call my mom on the way. We catch up. It had been a minute. I know. And then I am sitting at work. You know, I'm an intern. I don't have a desk, a permanent desk. I don't have
true.
A
Where do you don't have a permanent spot?
I don't know. You have a permanent spot?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I have
you're
a little.
With a startup. Okay, they have a lot.
I have a
extra
sticker.
space.
Like I have things on my desk.
Okay, I don't. I just kind of go where the wind takes me. And today the wind took me to this comfy little chair pod by the window. You know, I can see out to the seaport of Boston a bit. It's a nice view. I always sit kind of by the windows. And the sun was on me. You know, it's a cozy chair. I put my headphones on. I literally brought my like Beats headphones because AirPods suck for me. I don't know. Like, I'm not that big of a fan of AirPods. They fall out of my ears. I also have a specific piercing on one of my ears where an AirPod can no longer fit in my ear. And so
I want to point out another thing.
You don't
about
have that piercing.
I said day of. I want to get that pierced. And she goes to a piercing appointment. She comes back and she gets the like little, I don't know what it's called, but like the little nub in your ear.
Tragus? No.
I don't know.
Perhaps.
Anyway.
So I'm sitting, anyways, can't really use AirPods these days, or unless I want to have one, but it's not
Mine
really
just kind of died a year ago and I didn't replace them.
So I have my white Beats headphones, pop them on in the office. I'm sitting by the window seat. I play the Morgan Wallen
I totally
album.
forgot where this was going.
Back to front. I'm cranking out my work on autopilot. I'm feeling so productive. And it was just like a good moment. I was like, you know what? I feel like such like a businesswoman. I'm doing my work. I'm feeling independent, but I'm also getting some sun and I'm also listening to brand new good music. And so I would consider that to be my high of the week.
That's awesome for you.
Thank you.
Now for my lows. Now that we've gone through the highs of the week. Look, we're overdue for some good lows.
Yeah, you've been on like a high frenzy.
Okay.
And
I've been in a frenzy and now we're in a low. So when this first low happened,
in a low or you just
there are a bunch of silly ones that happened. And while this is happening to me, the first thought I had was, wow, this is gonna be such a good low of the week. And this low of the week, I swear to God, almost tops the time I drove through the drive-thru backwards last summer, because in my defense, I've never driven through a drive-thru before. That was like my first time going through a drive-thru, but I did go through like backwards. So I like went in where you're supposed to like pay and get your thing, I think is how it works.
That's the first window you hit. You were supposed to go around in order at the speaker and then keep going around. And we just pulled right in. Like we like went to order and the car is backwards at the pay window. And they were looking at us like, you good?
I know, I pull up, I roll down my window, I'm like,
one large cold brew.
I've never gone through a drive-thru before. Like we have. How was I supposed to know?
You're so red from laughing.
Know.
Like, we have gone through drive-thrus in our lives, but like we had just never driven ourselves through a drive-thru.
I'm not
the
a drive-thru kind of
only time I'd been
person.
in a drive-thru is if like I happened to be in someone else's car and they went. Like, I had never driven myself through a drive-thru.
And it was granted it was a weird layout. Like no one else was there. It was totally fine. It was just
in Maine.
It was in Maine. So this almost tops it. So picture it. I'm going to the doctor. She can only see me at like this new office that I've never been to before. And I was like, no worries. I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll meet you there.
Because like when you have a medical emergency,
you have a medical emergency, you have a medical
emergency.
emergency. Like truly. So I'm like, no worries. Like I'll pull up 40 minutes away. No worries. I'd love a drive. Like I was singing my heart out, having the time of my life. It's gross out. It's slushy. It's raining. It's snowing a little bit. So I get there. I pull up somehow. So I put it in the maps because it's a town I've never been to, like a place I've never been to. Somehow it goes, you're here. Like this. I look at the window. I'm like, this is the emergency room. Oh. I was not going to the emergency room.
And when I said medical emergency, I didn't mean.
She didn't mean it. Like I wasn't having a medical emergency. Like I wasn't going to the emergency room, and so I was all confused. And then I was like, well, you know what? Maybe it's like you walk through and it's just in. Maybe it's like in the back of the emergency room. Who knows? So I walk in. I'm like, hey, is this how you get to like my doctor? And then they're like, no, I don't think so. You should try around the building. So I'm like, all right, no worries. I go out. Can't find the door. Can't find another door at all. I'm walking in circles around the building. They call me. They're like, hey, just wondering if you're, like, on your way. Because I was about 10 minutes late at that point.
And you said, actually, I've been here.
And I go, oh, I'm here. Can't find you. And I was calling and they weren't picking up. And they're like, oh, go around the back. Like, you can park on the hill and then just come on in. And I was like, awesome, I'll be there in 2 minutes. I was not there in 2 minutes. No. I still couldn't find it. I went and parked in the back where I should. I'm walking in circles, and so, like, literally I've done laps around this. We're at the hospital. Like, it's a hospital / healthcare, like, area situation.
Like
campus. No.
Campus.
So I'm walking in circles. I'm doing laps 20 minutes late at this point. Somehow, I find the, like, main door to the hospital, and I'm like, awesome. Surely this is it.
Right.
201, I'm going to head up to the second floor. That's where it'll be for sure.
Right.
No, wasn't there. I'm all confused. There's a police officer. I'm like, hey. He's like the security guy. I'm like, hey, do you know how to get to blah, blah, blah? And they're like, oh, yeah. I could tell you, but it's difficult. So, like, let me just walk you there. Police escort through the hospital. We're leaving.
And was it difficult to get there?
Yeah.
So how is anyone to know? That's what I don't understand.
Like, how is
anyone to know?
Genuinely, how is that to know?
There's typically not good enough signage in malls and buildings and things. Like, how am I to find where I'm supposed to go when I don't go there
I've never been to that hospital. Yeah. So me and this police officer were walking through the hospital. Like, it's a crazy thing. I was like, is this, like...
That's crazy.
Am I supposed to be here? Like, I don't think I'm supposed to be at the hospital. This is, like, a...
Right.
Like... private practice doctor's office situation. I don't think that would be in the hospital. Anyway, I get there. I'm like, so sorry for being late. And they're like, no worries. All was good and well. But it was embarrassing. And I got a police escort through the hospital because I couldn't find my doctor's office. Mm-hmm. I thought that was going to be it for my lows of the week. It wasn't. Then for our friend's birthday on a Thursday, we went to this one bar on campus and I was holding a drink. It was brand new. It was fresh.
First of all, we're out on a Thursday.
And I refuse to go to this bar. Like, I genuinely...
This wasn't Catherine's first time.
I have refused to go to this place because it's just, you see everyone you know.
You don't, though, honestly. It's like...
Yeah, but I just don't need... I just, can't handle it. So, but for her birthday, like, I'll do anything. So, I'm there, holding a drink. It's, like, an open face situation. And I was talking to someone we, like, knew from high school. Yeah. Low-key. And... all of a sudden, he, like, hits it out of my hand, and I was like, oh, my God, like, oops.
Drink gone.
Drink is gone, which is totally
Everywhere.
fine. Totally fine. He was like, oh, my God, like, so sorry. And I was like, no, literally don't even worry. Like, I'm not upset about it.
I'll survive.
Like, everyone's spilling. It's okay.
Yeah.
So then we get a new one, holding it. 5 seconds later, one of his friends knocks it out of my hand. Literally 5 seconds later, and we're all standing there, like, And the thing, like, it was funny. Like, there was no level of embarrassment, at least not in my hand, in my brain, because I didn't knock it out of my hand. Like, it was forceful knocks. It was forceful knocks.
Like, if you had just dropped it
it
twice,
wasn't just like, oh, my hand slipped. It was like forcefully knocked out of my hand. But I was like, there's no way that just happened. That was so silly. Anyway, so that would be like my second low, I guess. But it honestly wasn't low. It was just kind of, there's no way that happened.
How did that happen?
And then my third low would be this morning when... so I have my car in Boston right now because we're going home to visit Stanley. And I was just home. So I was like, you know what? I just would so much rather drive than, like, take a train. So much more convenient. We crunched the numbers, and it's cheaper, too. So, why would I pay for parking when I can just park it on the street and hope not to get a ticket? So, because it's, like, 2-hour parking. So every 2 hours, I just go move it to a new one. So this morning I go and check on the car, make sure it's there. Once I was parked in the same spot, happened to be a Wednesday at noon, which is street cleaning day.
We got towed.
Didn't know, got towed, and I didn't know, so I was walking up the street. I go, where's my car? It physically wasn't there, and I was like,
where was it? Jamaica Plains.
Where was it? It was like 30 minutes in the other. It got towed. It's fine. No worries. What a story. I've never been to a...
We Ubered to the tow place and said, we're looking for our car.
Yep. And I said, this is... cost me a lot of money, but I didn't pay for parking at all. So anyway, this morning it's slushing out, it's gross, it's nasty. I go to check on my car, make sure it's still there, because God forbid it got towed. My car is like in that direction and I have to walk. It's maybe 5 minutes, but it's inconvenient when it's disgusting out. And then the gym is 20 minutes in this direction.
The other direction.
So I had to walk out of my way just to go to the gym, and now I'm upset. Because
it's
car's
hailing.
still there. It's hailing. I'm getting like pinged in the eyeball. It's horrendous. And I thank God I wore sweats over my leggings to the gym because I knew it was gross out.
I didn't.
Ew.
Yeah, it was bad.
So then my sweats were soaking wet, but my leggings underneath were like lovely and awesome. So went to the gym, sweats off, leggings pristine on, and then my sweatshirt wasn't wet. I was wearing a jacket. The hood was wet, so I took off my sweatshirt. We're doing our thing. Gym, awesome. Steam, awesome. Shower, awesome. Walk home. Of course, I didn't bring like other pants, so it's wet sweats back on, but I got home and I changed. Mm-hmm. And that was it. It was just gross. And
survived.
It was a tough walk.
Yeah, but that's okay.
But it's not that bad in the grand scheme of life.
No, it's not.
Just a silly thing. Oh, and every time you step, I was like...
yeah, squish.
Squishing. That was squishing noises of my shoes to the gym. And I was
like,
so sorry, guys.
So this week, for many listening, it might be spring break.
So true.
It's spring break for everyone who goes to our school, Northeastern, except for the people who are doing internships, which is in Catherine and I at the moment. So we don't really have a spring break unless we were to go somewhere and commit to like working from home from there the whole time, which I just didn't really have an opportunity in front of me that seemed like it would work that well with that. So I'm not doing that. We're staying here for the week, which in a way I'm really excited about. Like my goal for the week is to just very much chill and hang out with myself because, you know, when was the last time I had a week like just by myself? I feel like I haven't, so I could use some of that time. So I'm excited about it. But we are not going on spring break, so if anyone else is not, like, we're home with you. And if you are, have the time of your life. Or don't, because it might suck because I've never been on a spring break.
So true. That's the fun part about being like on our side, because half of Northeastern, our school, is working during the spring semester. And if you're working, you don't get spring break. So, like, half the school gets spring break and the other half just doesn't. And so we're on the doesn't get spring break, which is totally fine because I like my schedule
of other things better.
Of life. But it's just a silly little thing. Like, I will never have a
I don't think I'll ever have
spring
a legitimate spring break.
But I truly don't mind it. Like, I'm all set. But if you are, like, live it up.
I would like to experience it once. I was going to try to do it, but, like, we just took our own trip to LA, and it just would be way too difficult to try to be somewhere and be present and enjoying it there. And
I just know, So picture, like, me on a beach with 30 other, like,
it wouldn't go
drunk people for a week and a half.
And when you say
like,
other drunk people, you mean they're drunk and you're not. And for the most part.
Because if I'm going on a vacation, like, you can get drunk on a beach, like, an hour away. Why did we just fly 6 hours? Like, I'm trying to enjoy the beach.
Yeah,
and, like, remember it and feel good and, like relax. Live my life. And that's just not what other people are doing on spring break. So, like, number one, if you want to do that, like, let's plan a trip. Spring break, but, like, vibes.
We should do a Girls with Goals trip.
That'd be awesome.
Our first meetup, but we make it super
but it's like
extra
in Cabo.
And it's like a trip.
So true.
Alright.
Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I feel like I would not. I just know I wouldn't do well with a whole spring break personally. So I am as irritated as I am that everyone has left, and I'm just a touch bored. My goal of the week is to get ahead of Girls with Goals work.
Good stuff.
Because I'm excited about that, and it's always helpful.
Good.
Maybe I won't have a Sunday where I go to sleep at 2:30.
Exactly, because you'll be on top of it sooner.
So true.
It's exciting.
Because you guys know Mondays are you're listening. You know Mondays are new episode days, which means Sundays are
usually grind
days in the best way possible, and it's so much fun.
All right. Should you be self-centered?
My first ever viral video, it was on Instagram, like in a little Instagram reel. It was it's like something that someone said to you that like broke you.
You were like show you and then the thing that
it was
broke
it was a trend. It was
so
like show
funny.
you and then the thing that broke you, and I was like a picture of me, and then the next picture was a picture of me crying, and it goes, quote, "You're not the center of the universe." It was a joke. It was a joke.
People got heated.
Real heated. People got heated. Like half the people in the comments
of course you're not. Why would you ever think that?
You're not the center of the universe.
People get upset when other people enjoy themselves.
Like, it was a joke. It was funny. Laugh a little, live a little. Like, obviously, I'm not the center of the universe. I'm not a physicist. Like, I'm not an astronomer.
No.
I do, however, know that when I am, like, present and living my life for myself, I feel the best and it's awesome and life's lovely. And that's what I mean by being the center of the universe. It was a silly little joke. Half the people in the comments were like, yes, agree wholeheartedly. Like, live it up, live your life. Like, they got it. They got it. The other half didn't get it, and they should potentially try to live more as the center of their own universe and stop caring so much about what other people say on the internet.
Being able to feel like you are the center of your own universe, like in the best way possible, is the best thing ever. It like really is when you feel so like in control of your own world and like things are working for you a little bit, but
you
also
feel
like
aligned.
you're so present, aligned. I feel like aligned is the word that, like, if I'm trying to define what makes your life better, or like what describes like my best life, like when things are aligned, when who I want to be feels aligned with who I am, when my environment that I'm existing in feels aligned with where I should be, like when things are aligned.
Yeah.
And you are.
And so when you're
center.
in the center of the universe, when you're aligned, you're in the middle and everything else is like doing its thing.
But how do you get there?
You just listen to the whole discography of Girls with Goals.
But I think we want to talk about, should you be self-centered? Because the phrase self-centered has such a bad connotation, but is it actually a bad thing to put yourself first or to make yourself the center of your own universe? Like, is that inherently a bad thing? And I don't think that it is.
No, it's not.
I
Like,
think
you
that it
should
can be a
doing
really
that.
good thing, because when we think self-centered, we maybe group it with selfish, or we put it as like the polar opposite of selfless. Like, to be self-centered means like you have no empathy or gratitude or care or thought of other people at all, and that's not true. Being self-centered and being good to other people are not mutually exclusive. You can be both of those things. And so I think that's kind of where we get it wrong. We're like, oh, they're so self-centered. It's like, self-centered's not a bad thing. If you treat yourself well and are the center of your universe, that's a really good thing, as long as you're also treating other people well too.
Right. Being self-centered doesn't mean just like go out and be a bitch. It means live your life from the perspective of yourself. Be nice to everyone. Be compassionate. Be kind. Be supportive. Like, those core values don't change. What changes when I say you should be more self-centered means you should be living your life from the perspective of yourself, not other people.
Yeah. And being present. I think presence is a huge piece of it. And it's like, everyone's like, oh, be present, live in the moment. But I think when you go through a phase of actually trying to be present, or when you come out of a time where you're like, oh my God, I feel like I have been so not living presently. Like, I feel like when you like kind of snap in or out of one of those things, you kind of realize how real it is, how being present is honestly everything. Mm-hmm. It's honestly everything, because like, if you're always feeling caught up in the past, guilty about the past, if you're always feeling stressed about the future or planning your future so much that you can't even enjoy what is in front of you right now, then everything that is the future eventually becomes what's in front of you, and you never actually get to enjoy it. So all the things that you plan on in the future, you're not doing. And that was a little bit of a tangent, but I think being
Me trying to
present,
figure that out right now.
you know, like everything in the future, you know, if you do some simple math, it becomes the present. And everything that is the present was once the future that you were looking forward to, or once the future that you were planning on. So you have to be able to enjoy the present in every present moment, or else who are you to plan the future?
That could have been said in like 4 words. I'm so confused now.
Do you get it?
I do, but that was so many words at once that just didn't need to happen.
Okay. But
essentially,
yes,
the past is the past, the future is the future, and neither of those are happening now.
None of it exists without the present.
Present. We're here.
We're here. And when you live in the present, and for me that means being just aware of like having a dialogue in my head, almost like feeling like I'm almost like my own friend a little bit. Like, I'm just,
you should be your own friend.
Yeah, you should be your own friend, but like, you know, I'm like fully aware. I'm like fully in this moment. Like, I know everything that's going on around me. Like, I'm enjoying, or not even enjoying, I'm just aware of how I'm feeling, how the things are making me feel. I feel like I'm, like, in control of the things that I'm doing. That is, like, super, super key to this concept of being self-centered in a positive way. Because when I think of being self-centered in a positive way, I think it means always doing the things that feel right to you. Never at the expense of others, but doing what is right to you and feels right to you, and that can change in every moment. And I know in my own life, what is right for me is different all the time. Like, if I'm talking about just, like, lifestyle in general, sometimes what's right for me on a weekend is to stay in and catch up on sleep and spend time with myself and do some self-care, or to work, or blah, blah, blah. Sometimes what's right for me is to go out and have a super late night and be social and be with my friends. Like, you know, that's just an example of a way that, like, what is right for me is something that, like, I take in the present moment every time. And so that's one way that I feel like I'm, like, can be self-centered in a way where it's not, like, everything I do has to be so set in stone every time. Like, I kind of am always kind of checking in with myself and, like, what do I actually want right now? And that I'm not always just going along with what everyone else wants to do, what the crowd is doing, what I see people on social media doing, what all of this is doing. Like, I'm genuinely checking up on, like, what do I want to do? Big picture, but also, like, in this moment.
That's a good point. Every time I'm, like, maybe overthinking or overthinking about the future or something, I will be like, just check in. Like, right now in this very second, like, what do I want? How do I feel? Yes or no? Or if I'm in the present and I'm, like, my mind is wandering or something. Like, I did this in the gym today. I was, like, overthinking. I was thinking. And I was like, I'm here. I want to be, like, clicked in, dialed in, like, enjoying my workout right now. So I was just, like, present. Like, took a breather, focused on what was happening right then, and then ignored, or got myself to ignore whatever I was thinking about. And then it was awesome. And I felt so much better. And I enjoyed my workout. And then, like, I'll deal with the other stuff when I need to. It just wasn't pertinent at that moment. It will be when I'm done with my workout. When I'm done with, like, this moment. So it'll have its moment, but we're in this moment right now.
How often do you go through a day where every action that you do, you're just thinking about what's coming next? And you could do the exact same things in a day, but that action of, like, you're doing your skincare in the morning and all you're thinking about is, like, oh, I have to do all of these things at work later.
Right.
And then you're in the gym and you're just thinking, what am I going to make for dinner? What am I going to eat? How is that, like, nutritionally going to add up? Blah, blah, blah.
That really messes with my head. Because it happens all the time. And I'm like, am I even, like, existing?
Yeah. It's like you could do all of the same actions, but if your mind is not present and always one step ahead, it, like, adds this huge layer of stress. You don't actually enjoy the things in the moment, because imagine you're like, I love my skincare routine in the morning, but then at the time that you're actually doing it, you're just stressed about later, and you're like, oh, I'm so excited to go to the gym today. But then when you're in the gym, you're just stressed about what's happening next. Like, no, we have to shift that, and we have to be better at, like, being in what's in front of us at the moment. And I feel like this is becoming a lot about being present, but I think that goes hand in hand with being self-centered. It is
right, because
being present with yourself.
For me, being, like, self-centered is something about, like, when I think of this concept, I'm like, something of, like, my eyes, like, first person perspective, like, what are you seeing? Because in my head, I separate it between, like, if I'm being self-centered, if I'm, like, in the present, if I'm living for myself, I am in my own body, like, seeing with my own eyes. If I'm not in that space, then I'm, like, bird's eye view or third person. I'm, like, watching myself from someone else's perspective. And that's not living your own life. Like, you should be living your life from your own perspective. You should be seeing the world through your own eyes as yourself, as you should be. And so that's my, like, being present take on it. And that's when I zone in and kind of set myself to being present, what I focus on is, like, let me just look around. Let me, like, see through my own eyes and do my thing in that sense.
Yeah. So that first step of being self-centered is, like, being the center of your own world and being present in your own world, where like you are the focus point and you are present in this world that is going on around you.
You're the center of the universe.
You're the center
of
of
your
your
universe.
own universe. I think another big part of should you be self-centered is how does being self-centered relate to other people and how you treat other people in your relationships with other people and how much you spend time with other people and how much weight you put on the opinions of other people. There was that whole independent part that we just talked about, being the center of your own universe, but it's like, then should you be self-centered and how does that affect you in relation to other people?
So true.
Or other people in relation to you? I said this probably exact same thing 10 minutes ago, but being self-centered and being a good person do not have to be mutually exclusive. Like, being self-centered does not mean that you are so selfish that you don't care about other people at all. I actually think that when we are more self-centered in this definition that Catherine and I are giving to it, in the sense of you're super present of yourself, you're super aware of yourself, you are a better person. Like, you are a happier person, you are a healthier person, you're able to you're able to do more, honestly, because when you're present with what's in front of you, you're always kind of just doing whatever is right and whatever feels like what needs to be the best thing in front of you. And a lot of the times that is helpful to other people. Like, you're going to be a better person around other people and a better positive energy, and you're probably going to be a better person to other people, because like, in Catherine buys our apartment flowers at Trader Joe's all the time because she's probably walking down the street feeling all present, and she notices Trader Joe's and she's not in a super major rush, and she's like, you know what, this would make the center of our universe and my roommates better if I buy flowers. Put the positive energy into yourself. It makes you a higher energy, brighter person to then raise the energy of other people and also do good things for other people and be happy around other people. So, like, I don't think that being self-centered means that you're worse to other people. I think that in a lot of ways it can make you a better person to other people and for people to want to be around.
Also, if your energy is coming, like, from yourself and it doesn't have to go through a million people first, because the other option would be if you're not self-centered and you're, like, letting other people dictate how you live and how you see yourself and, like, what you do, what you say, what's, like, good or bad in your own mind, blah, 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 like, who you are. Whew. It passes so many people. Like, the energy is depleted, but when it comes from you directly, you have so much more energy to give and you have so much more value to give to other people, and you're going to be so much more, like, comfortable and energized to do that because it's not having to pass through 30 different people before you can use it up.
Yeah. And so that just means, it doesn't mean in any way, because then where it kind of gets into the, like, independence versus dependence on other people, and it's like, it never ever means isolating yourself. It means spending enough time with yourself, on yourself, for yourself, and always having that sense of presence and that sense of you are the center of your own universe. And it doesn't mean that you're better than other people. It doesn't mean that you are above other people, but it means that, like, you are you. You are not other people. Like, and Catherine is my sister, but, like, she is not me. Like, I am not in her head. I am not making her decisions. I'm not living for her. Like, my mom is my mom. Like, she is not me. I am not her. My friends are my friends. Like, but you are in your own body and your own mind. Like, you are the only person that literally is you. And it's nobody else's job to be 100% on your side except for yourself. Like, it is only every individual person's job to be 100% on their own team, because you can't be everything to everyone, and you can't expect that from other people.
Can't be everything to everyone. Oh, Renee.
But you can't. And I think, like, if we have these false expectations for other people to be 100% supportive, 100% able to do anything we want them to do, at, you know, one text, at one ask, at one, like, to be the funniest people ever, to be all of these things for us, that only sets us up for disappointment with other people as well, but it also makes us, like, super reliant on other people for all of those things that actually you're the only person that can 100% provide support for yourself and belief in yourself and do the things. Like, other people can be your gym buddy, they can educate you on health, they can do all of that, but at the end of the day, you are the one who literally puts one foot in front of the other and does it. Like, nobody else actually does it. Nobody else studies for you. Nobody else goes to work for you. Like, you physically are living as this person. So, like, when you really think about it that way, it's like we all should be so self-centered, because who are we to put more weight and more energy on all of these external people when, like, we literally are ourselves? I don't really know how else to put it other than, like, I will never be you. Like, I am myself.
So true.
Like,
side note, Mom last night, she called me for something and she's like, oh, where's Caroline? I was like, I don't know. And she was like, you don't know. She's freaking out. She's like, you don't know?
Oh, she texted me.
You don't know where she is? Why don't you know where she is? And I was like, well, because it's the craziest thing that we are not the same person. Yeah. Like, it's the craziest thing. And she's like, well, where were you? Where are you? And I was like, I just got back from the gym and she's not here. Like, maybe she's at the gym. Who knows? And she was like, how don't you know where she is? Like, do you guys not communicate?
Was she really freaking out?
She goes, do you guys not communicate? And I go, like, I saw her 2 hours ago. Like, I can Google her. I can Google up where she's at.
And then my mom texts me and she's like, I just called in Catherine and she said she doesn't know where you are. Are you okay? I said, Mom, I'm at dinner.
Like,
and she said, oh, okay, have a great dinner. Get home safe. Okay. I said, of course. Have a good night, Mom. That is crazy, though.
I'm like, I don't know. I could look up your location, but I wasn't gonna.
I also just had another thought. A thing that really is, like, helping me in life a lot is saying that I'm doing something for the plot or living for the plot or taking on something and looking at myself as, like, I am playing the part right now. Because I think that personally I have this, like, thing with identity a bit where if I try to, like, take on something to, like, I either, like, fully dive into something or I have to, like, reject it. Like, I kind of have this thing where, like, if I do something, I want to completely take it on forever and be the absolute best. Or I start spiraling of, like, how is this going to fit into my life forever and do all of this? And what
like,
does this
in 30
mean
years,
me?
how
like,
is this going to fit into my daily
and, like,
routine?
Realistically, I don't need to do that, but it's a thing that my brain does. So recently, I've been doing more things and being like, I am fully present in this, like, just playing the part for now. Like, and I'm looking at it, like, with my internship that I'm doing now, because I'm like, I'm doing a corporate marketing job. And doing that, like, I might have this tendency to be like, well, like, is this what I want to do forever? Do I want to be corporate America, or do I want to do my own thing and continue working for myself and blah, blah, blah? And I would get so stressed about it. But I'm like, I don't need to fully figure that out. I just need to be present with what I'm doing right now, because, like, this is the assignment in front of me right now. Like, this is the plot point that I'm at in my life right now. So, like, who am I to, like, not enjoy that and not embrace it while I'm in the moment by getting so distracted about, like, what this has to mean for me down the line? But that can apply to absolutely anything. Like, it's like that with picking up any sort of hobby or skill or anything like that. Like, don't stop yourself from doing those things because you feel like you wouldn't be good enough or you feel like you wouldn't be that. Like, if there's something that you want to do, or even if there's something you don't want to do, sometimes I'll, like, go do an activity, meet a new friend, do anything like that maybe I'm, like, not that inclined to do, because I'm like, you know what, like, this is an activity that I'm adding to my life. Like, this is a plot point that I'm adding to my life. I just think that's also, like, a kind of another mindset to help you be a little bit more of the center of your own universe and be a little bit more present in it, as opposed to overthinking everything, like I definitely know I have a tendency to do. That helps me. Maybe it will help you be the own center of your universe a bit. Be self-centered.
So we put together a tiny, short little list of things that make us feel self-centered, but, like, in a good way. Self-centered in the sense of, like, these things make us feel present. They make us feel like ourselves. They make us feel like we're living as ourselves. Mm-hmm. Caroline's first point that she put in was staying in on a night when, like, you need it.
Yeah.
So if there's a night when, like, oh, maybe everyone's going out and there's, like, a function and you're potentially supposed to go, but you don't want to, can't, like, you're tired.
I have a really great example.
Well, let's hear it.
Here's an example of this. Last week, Saturday morning, and Catherine and I got back from our trip to LA. And we got back early in the morning. We had taken an overnight flight. I had not slept very much. I was tired. That Saturday night, our friend was having a birthday party, and we had RSVP'd prior. I wanted to go. I wanted to be there. I wanted to be with people. I wanted to celebrate her birthday. But I knew that, like, I needed to recover from this trip so that I could actually have a week in front of me. Like, I knew that if I just was not able to have a night out, and it needed to be a night of sleep for me. But I still wanted to go, and I still wanted to, like, support in a way. So we went to the pregame. We went and we saw people. We went and we said happy birthday, and we were able to, like, be there for a bit of it. But I knew that what was best for me was staying in that night. So I was still able to show up and say happy birthday and be supportive. But, like, I had to be self-centered in that moment to explain, like, I would love to go out and be here, but I, like, just simply can't. And it was, honestly, it was, like, very appreciated. And, like, not, like, I don't think anyone would have taken it poorly at all.
To be honest, like, it was her 21st. I don't think anyone would have noticed.
I don't think they would have noticed. I think they were far too gone. But that is, like, an example of, you know, sometimes you choose whether you need to stay in or go out regardless of what other people are doing.
And that makes you feel self-centered in a good way. Other things are the gym when you're alone and you're, like, taking your time. Like, truly taking your time. Not a care in the world. Not a worry in the world. It's awesome. Hobbies. Vibing. Like, doing things, activities without pressure.
Yeah.
Is awesome.
Yeah. That, like, literally, it does make you feel like the center of the universe because we don't give ourselves, I think, enough time to just do silly hobbies or to learn something new that often, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, how often, and this is not me, I'm not, like, an artistic person in the sense that I could draw, but,
so
like,
true.
You draw sometimes, and I
do
love
draw
when
sometimes.
you do, because I'm, like, I love that you're just, like, taking the time to do nothing but just, like, draw and, like, just do something for yourself. And it could be, like, that's, like, what reading feels like sometimes, or going for a walk outside, or just, like, trying something new. Like, I want to get a longboard, and I feel like that
Did
would
you
be, like,
skate
a thing
it
for
all
me.
last summer?
Like, maybe a little bit, but our boards are really small. I have this, like, a little bit bigger than a penny board that I've had since middle school, and I, like, I enjoy riding it when I do ride it, and so I want to get a longboard because I feel like that would be, like, a fun, just, like, for no other reason but enjoying myself hobby to have.
So true. And then working, if you're, like, enjoying your work in your zone, that can sometimes be self-centering.
Okay, this is, like, a little bit different of a concept, but being entrepreneurial in your own career. Like, no matter if you're like, working for other people or not, like, being present in the work that you're doing and making it, like, your mission, your own work, like, you know, versus even if you are working for a company or working for somebody else or in a bigger group of people, like, still being able to feel independent and entrepreneurial in whatever work you're doing. I think if you can make some shifts like that is so game-changing in terms of work, because we all have to work, but I think there are ways to be more self-centered in your own career while still benefiting the greater good.
Mm-hmm. And my personal favorite, is taking pictures. Number one, pictures of yourself. Direct quote, self-centered. Like, that is directly self-centered. Like, take a selfie, take a picture of yourself, look your absolute best. That's awesome. My second thing is, like, taking pictures of surroundings, like photo dump style pictures. I have a whole second account dedicated. It's private, so don't go following it. Sometimes I put
it's, like, just for you.
Sometimes I put it. It was public for a while, and, like, I loved having it be public because it was, like, a different side of my life, and I was like, this is my life. Like, it's this is supposed to be selfish.
It's just for you.
Yeah. So I made it private, and there's, like, literally 30 people, like 30 very close people that follow it, and it's awesome, and I love it, and it's, like, my favorite thing, and it's just, like, photo dump pictures. And it's not, like, for anyone else. It's for me, so I can go back and be like, oh, this phase. That's, like, what I always say, like, I think of my Instagram and my social media, even turning my personal account into, like, something that has more of an impact, I still think of it as, like, a scrapbook and, like, a place where I can just visualize my life. Yeah. Historically.
But it could be also just, like, taking pictures and having them in your own albums and things like that.
Yeah. So that's my selfish. Like, I like taking pictures. It's not like I'm going to be on my phone the whole time, like, everyone's hanging out the whole time I'm doing an activity. No, it's like, I'm going to take a picture, take 10 seconds, like, have it forever. It's awesome. It's selfish in the best way possible.
So those are some things that make us feel self-centered in a good way. Make us feel center of our own universe kind of thing.
And if you have, in lieu of a double take, if you want to send in some things that make you feel self-centered, at Girls with Goals Pod, send a message, let us know. I'll probably put up a question box as well if you want to go respond if you catch that. But
one final point that I want to throw in before we finish this episode is in the concept of being self-centered, with this being should you be self-centered. And I think that you grow up your whole life seeing like, don't be self-centered, self-centered's a bad thing. But then there are things like self-growth and self-help and self-development that are like the pinnacle of good things to do. They are self-centered. Like that is self-centered, like just in a different term. That is self-centered just in a book, you know, like
in a good way,
you know? So self-centered, again, like we've said, it does not need to have that negative connotation. Like it literally is all of these good things of self-growth and self-help and being present and being supportive of yourself and having a strong foundation of life for yourself and like living your own life for yourself, because who else is going to do it for you?
So true. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you are self-centered. Go be self-centered now.
Go be self-centered. The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. I don't know why you were all hesitant in the beginning. Like, the answer was yes. In the beginning, we knew that's what was going to happen. We knew it. Thank you for listening. Again, if you want to go comment or go send us a message or go respond to a question box with things that make you feel self-centered in the best way possible, please do. We want to hear them. We want to read them. We want to share them. And with that, we will see you guys
next Monday.
Bye.